The Cedric Maxwell Podcast is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. He is Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavone. It's playoff season in Boston, and Max has certainly felt that way Saturday, man, with the atmosphere, the Celtics beating the brakes off the Atlanta Hawks, at least for the first half or first three quarters. Hawks managed to get it down to almost single digits, but not quite. It was 13 in the fourth quarter, but then the Celtics took over, man. The Celtics beat the Hawks 112-99. Of course, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Jalen's hand injury, as he had to leave the game at one point. And we'll also talk about the other games that happened across the NBA. The New York Knicks surprising people, the Sacramento Kings surprising people.
Max, I know you caught. They lit the light, baby.
I know you caught that game. I know you got a lot to say, so we'll get into that. But let's talk Celtics first, man. What do you make of the Celtics team? Like I said, I mean, they weren't the team that we were worried about, right? The one that was going to show up and try to make it look easy. No. They took it as if it was the Eastern Conference Finals, as if it was the NBA Finals. That was their energy from the jump. And it was a lot for the Atlanta Hawks to take. And of course, this was your end result, a double-digit win.
The Celtics played their game. There was a high-caliber game they played for at least three quarters of the game. And then they did what we were a little afraid of. They let the foot off the gas. They started taking ill-advised shots, turned the basketball over, but they had the game so much in control. The outcome wasn't as much, but the sloppy nature kind of made a real feel good to a question mark. How did they come out? What we saw was a dominant Rob Williams come out, and when he controlled the paint, the Hawks were not good. The Celtics rebounded. Was fantastic. They out-rebounded the game, and that is good. Another tasty stat. And they had, they just had the lineup. And one thing you did not see Joe Mazzulla. He wasn't screwing around at all. He had 7 to 8 guys he was playing. After that, everybody else is going to get in when they fit in. Even Grant Williams, who has been so reliable for this team for at least half the year, didn't even get off the bench.
Yeah, I was going to say at least half the year. I didn't know where you're going with that, but okay, yeah. That's
at least half the year. He had the first half of the year. He had a great first half of the year, and then just fell into the coach's funk. They will need before the playoffs end. But the matchups were really good for the Celtics. Said Rob Williams was good. Al Horford was good. They rebounded the basketball. Brogdon, Brown, you could see Tatum. I mean, those guys were exceptional when they played well.
Definitely, Max, man. And they did what they were supposed to do, right? When you're playing the Atlanta Hawks, you stop Trae Young, you make him uncomfortable. The resistance at the rim, he couldn't get the layups going. He started 0 for 5, and it was just an ice cold day for him, right? Murray had a heck of a game.
Hold on, let me do it like he would do.
I was thinking that when I said cold.
He was chilly.
Not in a good way.
He was chilly. See, this is one of the times he better be happy.
It was the defense.
You would be happy I'm not playing against him right now, because if other guys shoot like that, I would definitely do him like this.
Oh, when we couldn't make a shot?
When he couldn't make a shot. I'd be all on him. But,
I would do the same thing, Max. I would. I mean, this is the playoffs here, man. You got to show these people that you're not playing around. That's it.
But the Hawks, they need to out-rebound the Celtics. That's how they're going to win. If the Celtics are that scrappy, getting team rebounds, they can get out on the break and they can run anytime they want to. Rob Williams was a huge advantage. And the Celtics fans have to cross their fingers that he stays healthy, because around the rim, layups, block shots, incredible.
Right. But what do you think happened, Max? Because if you ask me, it was just the dominance of the Celtics just overwhelmed the Hawks. They were just like, whoa, like, oh, so this is what the playoffs like here. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a while. It's been a while since the Hawks team played a playoff game in Boston, and they got that feel right away, and it was like, whoa, okay, let's try to keep up with these guys. But then they couldn't. And then when it came to the deflation of seeing that lead going up, and you're like, man, we can't do anything to stop it. That's when the Celtics started out rebounding these guys and pretty much just putting the effort that they needed to close this one out, or at least create that 30-point advantage that they had.
Yeah, they had such an advantage by then that I think the final results, again, as I said, were clear once they got the 30-point lead. But it was and I don't know if they necessarily played with the game, because their passes were pretty good, but they stopped making some of the shots that they made early in the game. And that was one of the things that you would look at if you had to nitpick at all in that game. That would be the energy from the crowd was exceptional. The play for at least 3/4 of the game was superb.
Yeah.
It was just, they had maybe 12 minutes in there where they were just like, we won the game and let's try to do other things. Tell you who was really good too. Derek White was exceptional.
Yeah, he was, man, especially in the second half, man. Yeah.
Shooting the basketball. Marcus Smart made some plays, passing that were unreal. It was a good win. It was what they had to do to start out a series like this.
I think this was the best game from Marcus that we've seen in a while. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way, Max. You know, I tweeted out, and I also talked about, you know, during our Celtics post-game show and our Garden Report segments with Bobby Manning on CLNS Media, how we forgot about Bobby Manning on CLNS Media. You know, the reporter. The reporter who had the scoop on you, remember?
Bobby the Squealer Manning? Oh, is that what you call him? Okay.
Oh, man, don't call him the Squealer. He was reporting.
Bobby the Rat Manning? Okay, I get it.
You make him sound like he sounds like a villain in a mob movie or something. Yeah. Bobby the Rat. Yeah. Don't be talking to Bobby the Rat now.
Bobby the Rat Manning.
But no, man, we forgot about playoff Marcus. We didn't talk about that enough. And we're not the only ones, right? He takes things to another level. And of course, that transcends on both ends of the floor, man. Double digits in scoring, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. Maybe people wouldn't call it quite flirting with the triple-double, but stuff in the stat sheet and just making those plays, man. The loose ball dives, you know, getting those second chance opportunities and finding guys and putting them in the right scoring situations. It was a heck of a performance, man.
Yeah, it was on everybody's part. Tatum was good. I don't think
Tatum was too, man.
I don't think he was great, but he was good.
Yeah, he was good. Especially in that first quarter, man. He set the tone.
First quarter, you know, 11. Half.
Yeah.
First half, they were
double digits. Right.
Between him and Brown, they were sensational. Now the next question is going to be, what do you do with the stitches?
Man. Jaylen Brown stitches.
The stitches pop. How do you go back and restitch something that was stitched up already? Because we've all had stitches. But when you have them in your hand and parts that have to be flexible, you can break those stitches. You can tear those stitches. So you might have to have a cut man available for Brown until the playoffs are over, because that hand will keep getting hit. He's going to have to keep flexing that finger, whatever it is, and hopefully it doesn't become that much of a problem where he can't play, because they would be a completely different team without him.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a story now, right? I mean, Jaylen Brown's the stitches in his right hand, his shooting hand, split open during the first half. Joe Mazzulla telling us after the game that he had his bandage changed. And after that, he looked a lot better, right? So maybe this is a matter of not having the right bandage. Maybe it was too tight. Maybe there is some sort of adjustment that they need to make. But it's certainly something you're going to worry about moving forward if those stitches split open again, and especially during the playoffs. But hopefully these next 2 days do him well in terms of resting and the thing heals up. But yeah, I mean, it's something we're going to talk about for the next few days.
It's not going to heal up. It's not going to heal up during the time that you have to continue to play with it. He's going to have to play
not in the next couple of days.
Play with pain. going to have to play with pain and he's just going to have to adjust until he finishes the season. Then it can heal properly. But he will keep getting banged and hit. And if I'm a player, if I'm the opposition, I'm trying to see what finger it was. I'm trying to hit that finger or hit that hand.
See, that's the thing now, man. Now you're gonna
damage.
Now the Hawks gonna force him right. You know what I mean? You can make him uncomfortable knowing that hand is far from 100%. Like I said, it's a story now. Whereas people weren't really talking about it as much, or at least on a national level, about it being a problem.
I can't say that. Even the national level, there's the running joke that, okay, how did he do that? It wasn't the water vase.
Oh, well, yeah.
But
people were going into it. People were like, "Oh, the Celtics."
Comes up to me saying the same thing, like, "Okay, you believe that story? You believe that story?" I said, I wasn't there.
But nobody went to the series being like, "Oh, something's better be careful," because Jalen's not it. Like he's not. Everybody was like, "Oh, Jalen is hand's a little banged up, but he's good." You know what I mean? Nobody was like, "Oh, take advantage of this. Take advantage of this."
They weren't questioning that. They were questioning how it happened.
The story. Yeah,
that's what every national writer came to me and started saying, like, "You believe that story? Come on, man. They ain't got better than that."
Well, that's funny, man. So it sounds like they're keeping it at 100, but you're buying the story though, right? Is that your 100? You keeping it 100 with that?
Here's the thing about I don't even know. All I hear is he was watering the plant. A glass vase broke, and did he reach for it? He reached for the vase.
Yeah.
To go in and slice his finger.
I guess one of the shards from the vase got him, the glass vase. You buy, so you buying? Okay, I mean,
look, all I say is, call.
I don't know if it would need that many stitches.
Call your local florist. Call that person. Have them at this particular time. What are your plans for the rest of the year? It'll be all right. Little Penelope in your plant box. She'll be okay. She'll get by the next couple of weeks.
This episode, of course, of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. And new customers in Massachusetts can get in on the action. Like I said at the top, I mean, right now it's that time of the year, Max. A lot of teams starting off. There's a lot of baseball teams kicking off the regular season. And, man, you can win big money with FanDuel. Grand slams, no-hitters, and double plays are back. And there's no better place to get in on the MLB action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official partner of Major League Baseball. And new customers in Massachusetts can get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston. Finally, you can bet on your favorite sports from the money line to point spreads to player props and more. Man, what I also love about this app in particular is the different ways you can bet and the in-game betting. All right, so even if the game already started, you can still make money, and of course, you can make the watching experience that much more exciting with FanDuel. So bet on the app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. FanDuel, don't miss out on your chance to get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. Visit FanDuel.com/Boston and make every moment more.
Jalen finished with the game high 29 points. He also grabbed 12 rebounds along with his 3 assists. So it didn't affect his performance. But again, it's something to keep an eye on when you know he's not 100%. And the Atlanta Hawks know exactly what he's dealing with. So, I mean, yeah, if you're the Hawks, you got to take advantage of that. This is the playoffs. But speaking of the Hawks, man, a lot of the we just didn't have it today was being said after the game. Trae Young, especially. It's interesting what Murray said, right? Because he hasn't been in the playoffs for a while since his days in San Antonio, and he's like, man, people say how well he did and all that. And he's like, but we lost. We need to play better. We all need to play better.
Yeah.
So yeah. I like the energy. I like the way he was talking after the game, but I thought it was interesting how Trae was just sort of like, man, I'll just have it next time. Where I'm just like, the way the Celtics are playing defense against Trae, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. What do you think?
They're putting him in and trying to put him in awkward positions. They're trying to not let him set his feet. They're always trying to have a hand in his face. Right. They did a good job of that. He's doing the herky jerky, whatever it is. And normally what you'll have a guard in front of him. So he's not going to get by a guard. But if you can get a big on him in a pick and roll, you can make that guy dance and you might be able to get something off. But he utilizes a lot of time on the clock with his dancing. So if he goes back, forward, dribble one time, by then the shot clock's down to 6 or 7. And sometimes you're forced into a real bad situation. But let's just say the Celtics played well, and we'll see what Atlanta adjustments, because it's always the team that loses has to adjust. How will Atlanta adjust? Now, here's the thing I think that Atlanta might do. They might try to take a page out of Salt Lake City's book, where every time Tatum touched the basketball, come with the double team. Don't allow him to get the rhythm trying to beat his man one-on-one. Yesterday, Jason Tatum was a lot more decisive about getting towards the rim, getting there fast instead of dancing on the outside trying to beat his man. So if there's one adjustment that the Hawks probably will make, it probably will be that one.
Well, I'm interested to see what kind of adjustments the Golden State Warriors are going to make, because that loss against the Sacramento Kings, man, and one heck of a game. 126-123, it was the final score. But this was something that people were talking about going in. Obviously, for a team that only won 11 games on the road, it was a talking point that the Sacramento Kings' home court advantage would be a big advantage, especially against a team like the Warriors.
Well,
and, that was the case in Game 1.
But they weren't. The advantage was supposed to be Golden State. Golden State right now on the big book. Who's our fan? Who are we doing right now?
FanDuel
right now has the Warriors right now as the favorite. And Klay Thompson played well, shooting it. Steph was really good. Andrew Wiggins was a guy who was going to be the question there. And he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great either. He had the opportunity to tie the game up at the end. But a very, very, very good win for that team. Now can they bounce back and get another one? They lit the light. I'm wondering now with that, would Golden State, would they stay in San Francisco or would they go home? Because they bust down. And would they bust back home so they can be in their own beds? And then just follow up and bust back to Sacramento or stay overnight in Sacramento. But Steph was really good. But man, it was a real party for De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, he was
30
and you think
points,
about Sabonis wasn't good.
Right. Yeah. But can we talk about Fox for a little more, because 38 points, right? Going off offensively, but you know who his assignment was on the defensive side, right? Having to defend Steph Curry. I mean, that's impressive, Max, especially for someone like De'Aaron Fox who doesn't necessarily have playoff experience, and to do that against the reigning Finals MVP and in a winning performance, it says a lot about where he's at in his growth. It does.
But it also talks to the state of the mindset of Golden State.
Right.
They haven't been bothered by that. Remember, the Celtics had an advantage coming back home against Golden State, held them down 2-1, could have gone up 3-1 and probably would have won the championship if they had won that game in Boston. This doesn't
change everything.
This doesn't rattle them. Matter of fact, I think if anything, it pisses them off. Yeah. I think that what you're going to see is going to be a key for that Sacramento team to win again at home in the next game. If they're going to win this series, they cannot allow Golden State to go back to Golden State even. They have to be up 2-0 and put pressure on the defending champs. One thing is, you're saying they haven't played well on the road, but last night they played well enough to win that game on the road, but it was just too much to De'Aaron Fox at the very end.
Yeah, it was still an L, Max. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's another road L.
I get
Another
get
L on the road, if you will.
There's an L on the road, but there's an L against Golden State that is really different. It's really different when I think about it. And it's but a good win for a young team that was Mike Brown, who was the coach of the year, deserved that. They deserved to get a win. They played hard enough, and that fan base was unreal the way they won that first game. Even your guy was there. Bonds was there up in the house. He was at the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was up. I'm not sure because I'd seen him before, at the game, and I thought that was him sitting over there, and I kept staring at him, and then it was finally, and they showed him on TV, and I was like, oh man, Barry Bonds, yeah, Barry Bonds house. Yeah, Vlade Divac was there. Your guy that you love for a while, White Chocolate, was there.
Jason Williams was there. That's
Jason Williams.
That's cool, man. I caught up with Jason in Miami last year during the playoffs, so now he's over in Sacramento because man, that team was fun to watch back in the day. Or he was fun to watch back in the day.
So it was not a good win for them. It was a great win for them, and a win that they needed if they're going to extend this series.
I love what De'Aaron Fox had to say about guarding Steph Curry. I don't know if you've seen this video, Max, but real quick, right? J.R. Smith was on a podcast, and he was talking about the series when the Cleveland Cavaliers upset the Golden State Warriors and how Matthew Dellavedova needed, like, treatment after guarding Steph Curry and how he was, like, his neck was hurting trying to get through screens and his whole body was aching, and how he pretty much, JR was saying he'll always have the utmost respect for Dellavedova for doing that because they wouldn't have been able to win without his effect on the defensive end of the floor. Fast forward to De'Aaron Fox last night, and he's like, you see that video of J.R. Smith talking about Dellavedova guarding Steph Curry? That shit is true. Like, yes, facts. Like, I love that from De'Aaron Fox, man. It's kind of a life. It's kind of a life flex, almost, but also like, hey, this wasn't easy. Like, I worked my ass off out there.
Doris Burke said it best. The analyst for that particular game, she said, it begins once Steph Curry gets rid of the basketball because he's constant motion. He's coming off picks. You think you got him? Okay. You take your guard down for 1 second.
He's throwing walls at you. Walls.
He's running, and then another pick comes back at you. Then he's running this way. He's running. He must be exceptional with his stamina, but just as good as once he gets that basketball on a string, man, and gets that separation. He was surreal. I mean, he almost carried them to a victory and had that last shot on his fingertips to tie it. And with him, you almost automatically thought that was down, before he thought that basketball.
It was just a hell of a game. You're right. It could have went. It could have went either way. That's true. Yeah. I'm just giving the king to flowers. First round flowers. First round game one flowers. I should say is the long series.
Do you give the same thing to the New York Knicks?
Yes, 100%, man. They deserve it, man. They deserve it. 101 to 97 against the Cavs.
Crazy. Spike Lee is someplace going crazy. Oh my God. Stephen A. Smith was wearing a kind of creamsicle jacket and tie on the other day, just going off. My New York Knicks.
Man, that's gonna carry over to Monday morning too. He's gonna have all that energy, man.
Knicks,
they deserve it.
The Knicks play hard. They played well, and they defend, and they can give Cleveland. It can go either way. I mean, but I thought defensively it showed a lot about who the Knicks were, being able to slow down Donovan Mitchell, just to kind of contain him and do what you do. Garland wasn't the player he was before, but the Knicks did an excellent job of controlling those two guards, and not a lot of other teams have been able to do that.
And shout out to Jalen Brunson getting this playoff run, going. you're getting it going on the right foot, man. Look, 27 points, really guiding this team on offense, giving you that defense on the other side. And then when your sixth man of the year candidate didn't have it, right? Emmanuel quickly didn't have it. It was Josh Hart stepping in. And Hart, man, he's been doing this. Like, he's been about this in terms of coming off the bench, giving you that spark on both ends of the floor. And game one, it was no different, man. 17 points, 10 rebounds. Heck of a performance out of him. I don't think they win without him. And just collectively, a heck of a game for the Knicks to beat the Cavaliers, man.
Yeah, to get a win for the Knicks and that franchise and get them started off in the right direction is definitely a key. I mean, they could go back easily and lose 4 in a row, but Julius Randle was a bull in the challenge shop. The Knicks played well enough just to get things done the way they needed to get it done. So kudos goes out to the Knicks for what they were able to do.
Are we getting ahead of ourselves, man, with these two series? Let's just say it right now so we can play the tape later and see who was right, who was wrong. Is this upset alert? You know, is this just a game one thing between the Knicks and the Cavs, between the Kings and the Warriors?
I don't think that is an upset. If the Knicks were to beat Cleveland, I don't think that would be an upset. Now, if Sacramento beats Golden State, with Golden State having all their weapons, that to me would open up some people's eyes about it. It really shouldn't, because you look at this, you see what kind of season Golden State had, and you look at the kind of season that they had in Sacramento. It shouldn't be a surprise, but you're still talking about the defending NBA champions, and they look like they have most of their pieces back.
Right. I mean, that would add the shock value for sure. But yeah, I mean, just from the seeding aspect, right? I mean, yeah, it would technically be an upset for the Knicks as well. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Cavaliers will be okay. Does it go the distance? Possibly. Maybe this thing goes 7. But I still like the Cavs winning this series. But it'll be a heck of a series, entertaining series. Way better than what we saw, at least between the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers, man. Blowout city, 121 and 101 with the final scores. Joel Embiid is not playing, man. He wants to get through this first round and get onto unfinished business in the second round, right?
Joel Embiid has his foot on the gas.
He's not playing, man.
He is showing why he is the MVP. Right. He should be the MVP this year. There's no question in my mind what he's done and his ability to score, block shots, run the floor. But just as interesting that to me would be what happens now with the Fakers today when they go down and they play down in Memphis, as they like to call it, Brick City. I mean, Memphis always got something going. Now they're missing a lot of their bigs.
Yeah, man.
For the
I don't like their chances, man. Something about this doesn't feel good, Max. Doesn't feel good.
I like their chances, and the reason I like their chances, they are an emotional team. Jackson is the key. Jackson has been a good defender. He's blocked shots for you. Dillon Brooks, who doesn't give a damn about, LeBron James is going to get up in his face. He ain't going to give a shit one way or the other, which to me is important.
I can't wait for when the series is back in LA, man.
See, that's important to me because every player I see that plays against LeBron has a healthy respect for him.
Yeah.
And Dillon Brooks, he was playing against his mom. He stomped on her damn toe.
He would.
So I don't. That to me, that's a good sign for those guys. And you know what Jaw's gonna do? Jaw's gonna be bringing it. That fan base, man, they're gonna be off the chain. Yeah. The Lakers have to be in Memphis, and they have to run with, they have to run. Anthony Davis and LeBron have to run with those young legs. Those gonna be young legs, man. Just wait. Them old pepper, man. Them young boys gonna be coming at them. So you want to be on alert right now? I'm not on alert for that. I think the Lakers get beat, and they get beat handily. You're on the page that you think the Lakers upset them. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I do, man. Everything is just that's just the writing's on the wall, man. It's just the way they got into the playoffs. I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves were supposed to win that game. It came down to it. And well, if Rudy Gobert is there, they win it for sure. But with everything that happened, just the way the plot lines have going in the favor of LA right now, man. Yo, shit is not stable in Memphis. Okay, you know why? And if John Morant's shot isn't efficient, if he's not shooting his shot the way he's supposed to, and pun intended, let me make sure it's gonna be a quicker series than people anticipated.
Let me get this straight. You saying that the plot isn't right in Memphis when I saw the LA Fakers all but try to give the game away. They made some of the dumbest plays in that last quarter. I mean, Schroeder hits, okay, they make a great play. Schroeder hits a three in the corner, and I'm with some of my boys, and they're like, it's over. So they're Laker fans. I said, just wait. Just wait. There's 1.3 on the clock. The Lakers are going to do some dumb shit. And what happens? Anthony Davis runs over.
And look, but what happened after that, man? The basketball gods still blessed them.
No. What happened after that was, again, the Lakers did some dumb shit. Do you remember that game in the overtime? In the overtime, LeBron James throws a cross-court pass. Memphis, they're down right now by 3. Minnesota's down by
Timberwolves. Yeah.
Minnesota's down by 3. They make a steal and come down. Henry Prince is in the corner by himself and misses a 3 to tie it up. So the Lakers did everything they could possibly do to give that game away. But they, as you said, they held on, and that was with Anthony playing a horrible game. And he's supposed to be one of the rising stars, and Cat from time to time, he's gonna do something that's gonna be asinine. No.
Don't even get me started on that dude, man. For personal reasons, I'm upset with him. Okay, he went down. I know it's not his fault, but he got injured. He was my first round pick in fantasy basketball, and it just didn't work out for me. But that's another story. But look, man. You forget another part of that game too, man. Dennis Schroeder wasn't even supposed to be in the game. He tweaked his ankle, comes back in, hits the big shot. I'm telling you, man, that's the basketball god, man. That's God's plan. This is God's plan for the Lakers.
He did hit the big shot. And then what happened? Go on. He hits the big shot with 1.4 on the clock. Now, you go on. You give me this next second and a half.
You said the rest of happened, man. You painted the picture.
No, go ahead. Tell me what happened, Nick. Tell me what happened.
Anthony Davis got fouled. I mean, Anthony Davis fouled, what's his name, from behind the 3. But he had to make those 3 free throws, Max. And he made them, obviously.
Hey, he made the 3, but I'm just saying, it shouldn't have been that. The guy was in the corner, and Conley was literally behind the backboard.
Prince.
He was literally behind the backboard. And the only way you could save that play was you had to foul the 3-point shooter in the act of shooting. And Anthony Davis flies over there.
Anthony Davis said, "Yo, say less. I'll do this. I'll do it."
Yeah, I'll do something. I'll do that movie that came out, Dumb and Dumber. Oh my God. It reminded me of that situation. When I saw that, I was like, because I told my guys were sitting there hooping and hollering, oh my God, the Lakers got this thing. I said, you wait, just wait, hold on. You got 1.4 here. Watch the Lakers do something dumb.
Max said there's still plenty of time to fuck this up.
Still plenty of time to fuck up with the Lakers. There's still plenty of time. And what happens? They do exactly what I said. Then when they went up in overtime, the guys said, oh, we got this one. I said, hold on. Let's hold up a minute. LeBron comes down and throws it away. They get a chance to tie it up. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, look, I didn't say it's going to be pretty, but let's see what the Memphis Grizzlies got. Let's see if they can talk that talk. I don't know, but I should say that let's see if the game can back up that talk.
I tell you, if Jackson, here's the key to that game. If Jackson doesn't get into foul difficulty by making dumb plays, If Darren Jackson can stay in the game,
stop jumping on up fakes, man. Don't jump on up fakes.
If he stopped reaching for the ball, they got the chance to win even without Adams, because he has been one of the leaders in block shots this year around the rim. Jaws played well. Brooks has played well. They got some guys who can score the basketball, and they run the floor. I like their chances, especially at home.
Yeah, man. Look, all of this is just it's all the makings of a very entertaining first round, which you don't always get every single year, man. So I'm looking forward to it. The playoffs continue, of course, throughout the weekend, and we'll have all of our reactions to what's going on in our next episode. What's up, man?
The Butler is still around, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see what happens, man. Miami Heat punched their ticket into the playoffs, going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. You saying upset alert, Max? Is that what you saying?
And tell you what, the Butler's still around, dog. If the Butler is still around, I mean, Strus had 31.
Oh, he came correct on that in that playing game, man.
31 the other day. Hero
Chicago.
Bam is gonna play well. It's gonna be that. I think that series is gonna be more interesting than you think. I talked to somebody. They were saying that, well, I believe that all these other guys right now are healthy for Milwaukee, and I go, Middleton hasn't necessarily looked like Middleton.
He's not the same dude.
They will need him to be that dude. Giannis is gonna be Giannis. Brook Lopez, big body on the inside.
Right.
But
you know what, Max? What about Drew? What about Drew? Sorry to cut you off real quick, but because Drew Holiday is obviously a spectacular player, he can come up big, but he's the two now, right? He's a little more important than he was a couple of years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see, because if the Miami Heat can minimize his offense, then you put yourself in really good shape to knock this team out. I mean, throughout the course of a 7-game series, if you can do that on a game by game basis.
Well, who do you put on? If you're Miami, who do you put on? Do you go with one of the best defenders around? Do you go with Jimmy Butler, one of the best two-way defenders?
I might go Jimmy, because I might say this guy's way more important than defending Chris Middleton, at least right now, until Middleton proves me otherwise. I would do that.
Kyle Lowry could be an X factor when it comes to the playing in this game. They got shooters over there galore. I don't know. I'm not as confident about the Bucks. The Bucks could go out and beat them by 40, and I'd be like, oh yeah. But the Bucks could lose that game. Could lose that game, and I go, So it's gonna be interesting. We do want you guys to follow us,
especially game one, man. If you could steal one, that'd be huge.
Yeah, that's why we want you guys to follow us. And subscribe.
Yes.
We do appreciate the fact that you guys are very loyal viewers on the channel, and you've made us stronger. Our partnership with our gambling.
FanDuel. I was just gonna say, guys, you still have plenty of time. You still got plenty of time to cash in on that $200 bonus if you haven't already. That's FanDuel.com/Boston. Sign up. You still have plenty of time. $5 or at least a $10 deposit. $10 bet can get you up to $200 worth of winnings just for signing up. Head over to FanDuel.com/Boston, man.
I like your. Are you gonna get your outtake? Your disclaimer?
No, man. We put that. We got that from.
Oh,
from
you already got that in.
We got that in.
I love when you read the disclaimer on that. If you ever,
we have to, Max. We have. I mean,
I get it.
Look,
I get it.
It's brand new in Massachusetts, so they're ahead of that.
I love when you read your disclaimer on that, man. It was so cool. Like, if you have problems, but FanDuel is kicking, and FanDuel's done a fantastic job, and they have inundated the whole Boston area. You see,
oh man, you can feel it.
Breeds, you see, people betting. It is a really cool.
I was cracking up one of the last games of the season. I think the spread. The Celtics had like an 8.5 spread, and then at the end, I want to say, wait, what was the back-to-back they played again? The Toronto game, I think it was. Yeah. The second Toronto game. I want to say Flynn, maybe Flynn, one of the bench guys, because the game was over, goes into the paint and makes a layup. And I hear the guy behind me just go, "Damn it!" It went from a 9-point game to a 7-point game, and that's how it ended. I was like, "Damn, that's tough. That's tough." But there's still way more other options to win.
So many ways.
Thanks to FanDuel, man.
So many ways to win on FanDuel with you know, my sons are involved with it. It's, you know, how many rebounds a guy might get, or how many block shots, or I mean,
the prop bets. Yeah,
the prop bets are freaking amazing with what's coming on. So hey, you guys live it up. Live your as you gotta,
man.
Live your best life. I was a little surprised to see your guy Bobby Kraft was at the game, Mr. Kraft.
Man, he's a Celtics fan. So if we saw Belichick, I would have been like, "Whoa!" That would have been a shock.
I was looking for a sidekick, man. You know, Meek Mills or
Meek. Yo, look out for the potential.
Gucci Mane.
If there's a Sixers series, one of those guys going to be there. Probably Meek. I should say, not Gucci, Meek. But Gucci should come through, especially since they're playing the Hawks. That's actually a good call.
Yeah. So yeah, guys.
We'll see.
Anyway, you would thank you guys for coming on with us, man, and you know, follow us. It's gonna be
yes,
interesting
sir.
to see what the C's do, and you know what the rest of the association does also.
And it's just the beginning. Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week.